Hello everyone, welcome to Desert Succulent. Today we're going to be featuring Sedeveria Letizia, or commonly known as the lettuce Sedeveria. This kind of succulent is a hybrid cross between our Echeveria Setosa and our Sedum Caspidatum. It is considered as a small and compact succulent, and they can be expected to grow to about 8 inches tall, and they can develop a few rosettes which is now about 2.5 inches in diameter. Even if this is a small succulent, it is visually stunning, especially if we will be putting it under distress. The typical color ng kanyang leaves would be apple green, but it will be giving us this deep red color if yung ating plant will be experiencing drought or too much sunlight. If you're gonna be looking at it in detail, you would notice na may parang mga white fine hairs sa kanyang pinaka-leaf margins, even sa underside ng kanyang leaf. Although pag nahawakan natin yung kanilang leaves, we won't really feel na they are existing or hindi naman silang makating mahawakan. Our Letizia would also be bearing flowers in the color of white with petal tips na medyo color pink. Itong succulent na to is one of those na I could really recommend if you are a beginner because it's really low maintenance. And in addition to that one, it would also be a great and wonderful addition to your collection of succulents because of its compact size and the color that you can have once it's dressed na color red siya. Our Letizia is commonly confused with another kind of succulent na sobrang kahawig niya nga siya. And this is what we call yung ating Echeveria multicollis or the copper rose. Sa unang tingin, you won't really see the big difference sa kanila kasi the color ng kanilang leaves are very similar na greenish, and at the same time, it will be giving you yung parang red na sun-stress color sa kanyang pinaka-leaf margins like this one. And the texture nung kanilang leaves are also very similar. It's very smooth and they are not coated with farina. And the arrangement ng kanilang rosettes is also the same. It would look like this. And for this one, it's gonna be like this. We could easily tell which is which pag pinagtabi na nga natin sila kasi sometimes if hindi natin sila pagtatabihin and we're just gonna be basing it sa pictures, medyo may hirapan tayo mag-identify kung sino ba talaga si Letizia and sino nga ba talaga si Copper Rose. And you can just simply focus sa shape ng kanilang pinaka-leaves. I also noticed na itong ating mga Letizia, they have this white hair sa kanilang leaves, while our Copper Rose, they don't have that kind of feature. Now that we know their differences, we can further proceed sa light requirements nitong ating Letizia. The light is probably one of the most important caring factor for our Letizia kasi as a general rule, itong succulent na to doesn't appreciate yung ating direct sunlight exposure. You can put it in an area na filtered or shaded. In short, we have to protect this kind of succulent from the sun kasi they are very prone to sunburn. Although in my case, since we are located in the highland areas, I'm not really worried about it being sunburned. But sa lowland areas wherein the temperature could reach about 30 to 40 degrees, then probably that's one of the things that you need to consider. In previous months, I have noticed na this one is mas reddish talaga yung kanyang color if we will constantly expose it to the sun, and at the same time we won't be watering it. It will be giving us yung kanyang reddish color, and that is something that I wanted to achieve. Unfortunately, because of the rain na it's receiving every day, naging greenish na siya. Although we can still see and appreciate some of it, hindi lang siya ganun ka-intense as compared before. As a general rule with most of our succulents, our Sedeveria also prefers na yung kanyang soil would be dry before we can completely watering it. The best way of watering is yung ating soak and dry method. You can also try yung ating bottom watering, but I would advise that you're gonna be using it if severely dehydrated yung inyong succulent. And yung ating rainwater is something that I always use to water yung aking mga succulents, including our Letizia. And in any case na I don't have rainwater, we can always make use of the tap water na galing sa ating faucets. We could also check for signs of overwatering, yung mga mushy leaves. And I have here one of the leaf. Ganyan ang itsura nitong ating mga overwatered succulents. You have noticed na ang bilis niyang nalaglag. since it's already overwatered. So, usually, it would look like this. Pag mushy na yung inyong leaves, nagiging translucent na rin siya. And if pipisilin nga natin, there will be water coming out from its leaves. So, meron pa pala tayong isang overwatered na leaf sa kanya. Ayan o. Yung tubig na lumalabas sa kanya. Hindi naman entirely na buong plant is already overwatered. Although we have to be careful pa din na ilalagay natin siya sa isang rain or shine area kasi if nasobrahan naman talaga sila sa tubig, it could eventually lead to rot or pagkabulok. So further soil mix, well draining is always the key. I'm using yung ating loam soil again. And ito nga yung gagamitin natin kasi right now we will be also repotting yung isa sa aking mga succulents. And even if na I won't be removing yung kanilang old soil, like here, I will be using or adding some fresh soil sa pinakailalim and sa pinakagilid and even at the top part. Every time we will be watering this pot, yung nutrients coming from the new soil will also be absorbed by the roots of the old soil. We can remove the old leaves and mga dried leaves na nandyan, including those leaves na may mga bite mark, probably an insect or a caterpillar yung kumagat-kagat dito, and we can just simply remove them. Itong mga ito nakikita ninyo are actually the flower stalks and nag-dry na nga siya kaya there's no use of this. We can just simply remove it, including this. Ayan. After removing itong mga leaves na to, we are now ready to repot. So let's try to add more soil dito sa pinakababa. Ayan siya. I make sure na nasa center yung ating succulent before we put yung ibang remaining soil. After that one, we can just simply add the remaining soil mix na prepare natin sa kanya. There you have it. We were able to successfully replanted it. And look at this, diba? Ang ganda niyang tignan in this white pot. How much more pag naging red nga ito. And I cannot wait until the time has come na this pot would be filled with our Sedeveria Letizia. Propagating them is also very simple. We can just simply remove itong mga leaves na ito. Ayan. Look at this one. We have to be careful when removing the leaf nitong ating mga Letizia kasi they are one of those succulents na mabilis maputol yung kanilang leaves, and if that happens, like what we have here, hindi magiging successful yung ating leaf propagation. Kaya let's try to take another one. Ayan. So finally, we were able to successfully get leaf sa kanya. We can also do some stem cuttings. Look at this. Nagbra-branch out sila kaya madali siyang i-propagate through stems. Like here, we can cut it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Even itong ating pinaka-stem, we can also cut it here. But I won't be doing that one kasi I wanted na maging lush pa itong ating newly potted Letizia. I have here sa likod and it has also a lot of offsets na din. Hayaan lang natin itong ating mga offsets here until the time has come na they have outgrown yung pot. And that's the perfect time for us to start removing these kind of offsets. We also need to check for some mealybugs or scales sa kanya. If this happens, we have to get rid of them immediately. Especially yung ating mga young plant, these kind of pests could easily suck it literally dry and end the life or papatayin niya yung ating succulent. And that's all for our Sedeveria Letizia. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You may also visit our Facebook page at Desert Succulent PH.